In this episode, I moved the system disk of the VAX 4300 into the VAX 4200 and made a backup of the system disk for the case of a disk failure. But it was more difficult, but also more insightful than expected. Hello viewers, welcome back to another episode, and in this episode I want to swap the system disk from the VAX 4300 on the right to the VAX 4200 on the left. And if you follow my channel for a longer time, you know there is a little problem with the VAX 4200 with the internal wiring of the DSSI bus. But I will talk about that topic later. And if you saw my last video, you know that the VAX 4300 here on the right had a problem with its power supply. And I wasn't able to solve this issue. Therefore, the VAX 4300 is not running at the moment, and I've removed the system disk. System disk is over here. And I need a running VAX with all my as a boot server for my further projects. So therefore, I will try to put the disk in the other VAX, because the image for booting the VAX 4200 is also located on this disk. This is a common system disk cluster environment. I've made also another video about the repairing of the power supply, or when I tried to repair the power supply. Okay, it wasn't successful, but I did some further tests. But I will release these type of electronic videos in the future on a second channel, because some of my viewers are interested in these detailed electronic parts. So I made a second channel for detailed electronic videos, and maybe also for other loosely related topics to my channel. Therefore, I will concentrate here on this main channel on the VAX and on the LFAs and on VMS stuff and network and SAN and stuff like that, and all the other stuff will move to a second channel, and this video is released together with that video, so I will link the detailed video to the second channel in the description down below. Yeah, and what I will try now is, I will open now that machine here, and you will see what is inside, and I will do some more detailed explanation on that machine, and will build in this hard drive into that machine, and I hope that that will work, and then I will have a working VAX with working boot server, so that I can boot all the other stuff here in my room, or the other VAX stuff from that boot server again. Here is the VAX 4200. Let's open the machine to remove the cover. Let's remove the plastic front of the machine. And then here, this is the DSSI connection. It goes to that machine, and normally the DSSI connection is located over here, but where is the original part? This is the original part, and I said it in a previous episode. There's this wire is broken at some place, so I cannot use it. Normally, the DSSI connection starts over here, goes up to here, where is space for the hard drive, and then ends up here, and then you can connect. There's an external connector for connecting to go to another machine. And at the moment, let's remove here. This is the console cable. This is the network. At the moment, it's quite easy configuration. I use this bulkhead over here, and this is a bulkhead from KFQSA DSSI controller, so a Qbus, so Qbus DSSI controller I own, but I'm not using it at the moment, and therefore I decided to use the bulkhead, and the bulkhead is connected here to the internal DSSI bus. So let's first remove the front cover of the CPU board. So this is the CPU board with the DSSI controller included. Check out my video about that machine, where I explain how this machine is built in detail. And this here is the cable, the original DSSI cable, which ends up over here. So let's remove also this plastic cover over here. Then you will see what I mean. there is, okay, everything falls down. It's typical for me that things fall on the ground. And let's remove that board as well. And here on the top there is the end of that cable. So normally the cable ends here, and then this thing, where is it? Here. Then this thing is connected to here and ends over here, but this is removed because it won't work. So now I will try to build in the system disk here. So this system disk from the VAX 4300 into that part of the machine. But now there is something special happening because that cable is broken. I cannot terminate that end of the bus. So I will use just a standard 50-pin SCSI cable and connect it, and use this connector because that cable is okay. Connect it to the hard drive. And then the termination on one end is missing. And I hope that that will work. So normally you read that the termination has to do something with reflections at the end, but the main purpose of the termination is to define the voltage for high and low, so for 0 and 1. And there is a terminator on one end, but when one terminator is missing, the resistance is different. So there are resistors in parallel, and when one resistor in parallel is missing, the resistance is higher, and therefore the voltage is lower, because it's a higher resistance. And if you have two resistors and both ends of resistance parallel, then if you know so Ohm's law, the resistance should be lower. So I hope that that will work with a higher resistance, that the voltage level is okay. Why I think that this will work is first, when I've used the VAXserver 4300 years without a termination at the end, because I hadn't so much terminators for that machine, and I know that the machine worked without termination at one end. And the other thing is the DSSI bus can have a length of 25 meters in a data center environment or 20 meters in a normal office environment, and because the bus is very short, I think more about half a meter in that machine, that is not a problem with then that one terminator is missing, because if you have a bus with 25 meters, the resistance of the cable comes also into the whole bus construction. So I hope that will work. It hasn't worked with that thing connected with a terminator, but this is quite easy to explain, because some wires are working and some wires are not working, and when a terminator is connected over here, then the resistance on the different parallels, as a parallel bus DSSI, the resistance of the different wires is different. And then I think the controller is not able to communicate with a hard drive. First I have to remove the hard drive from this frame. This is the frame from the VAXserver 4300. And we'll do this thing off camera and put it into that lucid rails here. These are the rails for the machine. And then I will connect everything and we will see if that will work. So now I will do all the screwing stuff off camera, and after that I will record the next scene where I will do the cabling and talk a bit more about that cabling and all that stuff. Put in the hard drive into the machine. I can do the cabling now. There was a bit of problem because down here this is the power cable for the TK50 tape drive here on the right. There was a comment in the video where I put in the TK50 that the TK50 is not the right tape drive for that machine. That's right, because TK50 is a bit older. Normally you will use a TK70 tape drive in the device, but I do not own a TK70. It's on my wish list, but I do not have one, and therefore I'm glad that I have a TK50 to read out all my TK50 tapes, and I only own a few TK70 tapes, so it's not a big deal to use a TK50 in that machine. It works, but if I able to get a TK70 tape drive, I will put a TK70 tape drive into that machine, but until this will happen, I will use that TK50 here. This is the DSSI typical DEC 5-pin power connector. There's an adapter available for the Molex 4-pin standard power connector, but there's a 5th cable which is necessary to power DSSI devices. Then I will use, and I hope this will work, but I think it will work, use just that normal SCSI 50-pin cable and put all that stuff into the machine to, yes, inside, to connect it to the hard drive. So, and then I will remove the old DSSI bulkhead from the KFQSA, because we don't need that. At the moment. So this is the external cable, and then the bulkhead, because I will do another thing in that video, and this is I will back up that hard drive in case it's working. So, but be careful, because this part is expensive. If you want, you can buy that thing on eBay for more than over $100. Therefore, yeah, hope that's not broken. And install the original DSSI cable again. Hope we can do it without removing the whole thing, our board. But this is Q-bus, it's not as fragile as in the VAX 4200. In the VAX 4000, sorry, in the VAX 4300 there are pins, but Q-bus does not have pins, so it's more reliable. So the other thing we need to connect is that cable here. That cable is to set the ID. There are plugs in the front here, and these plugs are set the ID of the hard drive. It's a bit like SCSI. You have IDs from 0 to 7. I will use the ID from the other. Now it's ID 4, but it doesn't matter how the ID is, because that hard drives has an internal, you can program the ID into the hard drive via a special program, and at the moment it's the VMB in that machine will detect it as the hard drive 4, but via OpenVMS later, or VMS, detects it as the internal set ID programmed on the hard drive. This is to avoid confusion. If you have more than 8 hard drives, you can use IDs higher than 7 internally. The other thing I will do is install a SCSI controller for the backup. Here I have this SCSI controller. This is an Molex SCSI controller, 50 pin, I think it's SCSI 2. And we need something for external connection. This is quite a long cable I will use for the purpose. So that's everything. Let's connect. Well, this is the front panel for the CPU board. We need as well. So let's connect the terminal to the network. Terminal, and try out if this solution will work. So here's the terminal, VT510. I have to check. Correct, it's connected to the so it's the wrong port. It's COM2. And turn the machine on. As you can hear, this hard drive is spinning up, and here this is the online light, and so it's starting. There's no fault. let's check. Yeah, the hard drive is detected, so there's no termination necessary on that end and on that short bus length. So now I will turn the machine off again and put everything back together, and also connect a tape drive for the backup, and then I will do the backup of that hard drive. I've put the cover back on, but not that cover because the cable is too short. Here on the right I've added a tape drive, a TZ88 DLT IV tape drive for the backup, and also a CD-ROM drive, because you cannot back up OpenVMS while it's running. So you have to boot from an OpenVMS media into a backup program, and then you can back up system disk. It's not possible to do. It's only this is the only way to back up the system disk. Other disks you can back up from OpenVMS directly, but when you want to perform a backup from system disk, you have to use that way from an external boot media. That's the reason why here's a CD-ROM drive, because we have to boot OpenVMS, the OpenVMS installation media, which basically starts the backup program to back up it. And here you can see it. I hope you can see it. There are the devices. DEC IV is the RF72, the system disk. DUA2 is the I think it's this. Yeah, this DUA2 is the tape controller, is a tape drive, and DUA4 is the CD-ROM drive, and MUA0 this is the TK50. But we won't use TK50, so I will use that VAX original VAX OpenVMS 7.1 boot disk CD-ROM from the software product library, quite modern, and then boot directly into OpenVMS, or into the OpenVMS backup tool, which is basically the software where the device is booting from. So let's move the camera, just that you can see the screen better. You can see booting OpenVMS. You have also this DLT IV tape here. When it's booting, I will use this brand new compact DLT IV tape. Put it into load it into the tape drive while it's booting. Date and time. Today is the 8th of August 2025, and it's 2 minutes after 4 p.m. But we are living in Europe, so we have 24 hours. Yeah, the tape is a 20 gigabyte tape, but it's way too big for the hard drive. This is the RF72 hard drive. It's 1 gigabyte, I think. I think it's 1 gigabyte hard drive, but I do not have smaller tapes. So I have to use this big tapes because you get this tapes. Okay, you can see now these are the available devices. The CD-ROM drive is not as an RRD40. I think this is a DEC-made CD-ROM drive. It's not a DEC-made, it's an Ultraplex from whoever is the manufacturer. But knows that this is some kind of CD-ROM drive, and the tape drive is not detected as a tape drive. It's detected as an RA81. I think this is a disk controller, but I hope that the backup will work. Let's enter yes, because these are the available devices, and after a while you get the $sign, and this is the standalone backup tool, not a complete OpenVMS, so it only can perform the backup command. Yeah, now I have to look up how the correct backup command is, because when I do it the other way around, I will destroy the whole hard drive. So I will look up the correct backup command, and then I will perform the backup. So I think I found out the right command. This is backup, then the system disk. This is $1 DI4. Save it as an image, not a. Then the destination, this is DUA2. Then the file, and this is DBS1 system disk DCK, because originally it's from the system DBS1, not from the system DBS3. Rewind, because it's a new tape, and label. This is DBS1 backup, and save set. Can write it shorter. Let's check it. DUA2, DBS1, sys backup, rewind label, DBS1 BU, save. Enter. Okay, nothing is happening. It's not starting something with the tape drive. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah. Backupping on the tape drive is something that wouldn't work. Yeah, then forget the backup in that video. Yeah, I don't know why it shut down. Or this is crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, yeah. Let's halt the system. First, try to boot from the hard drive, the DEC IV. Check if that will work. Maybe there's still a problem with the bus. Took way too long. Maybe it doesn't like its wrong ID, so we'll change it. But I think that's not an issue. We'll change it to 3. Otherwise, I have to do some more changes. So let's check out the devices again. DEC IV is correct. Maybe it's also the reason because the SCSI controller is third-party SCSI controller. It's not detected as a SCSI controller, it's detected as a UK SSP controller. Maybe this is a problem. I have to use the original DEC SCSI controller. It's called KVAX and then try the backup of that controller. Maybe it's a problem with the controller. But let's boot it, and also forget to use the correct boot option, because this is the machine 3. Let's try it out. No, it won't work. So I'll do some changes on the cabling. There is no real communication possible between the hard drive and the controller. It's way too slow. It should have booted in that time. Yeah, that's interesting. Now you can see OpenVMS VAX. I've replaced it with the original cable. You see it down there, but without a terminator, because this will confuse this thing, because I think the broken, or the part where the cable is broken is behind. Let's go back down there. I think the part is behind that connector, but before that connector. So something over there, there's the broken part of that cable, and without the terminator, it works. So maybe the other cable is also broken, I don't know. But now it starts without termination on one end. And that's the problem. Maybe let's try it again. August 2025, and now it's the wrong date. It's not 2026, 2025 is correct. I hope I can enter it again. Yeah, let's turn it off and on, because I have to start the whole cluster, because the machine wants to see the other machines. And also will remove the SCSI controller of that machine again. So therefore it's not, I will do all that stuff off camera, and then I will try to boot OpenVMS again with all the running cluster and all that stuff. And then it's also a bit louder in the room because all the other machines are running. Put everything back together, you can see it down there. And I've also added the original DEC TK88 controller, and you can hear the tape drive in the back, because I've restarted the tape drive with the tape inside, and now it's trying to read out the tape. And interestingly, let's go back to the terminal. Interestingly, now it's correctly detected as a TZ88. So I think the problem with the backup was the other controller. The other device, the KA400, is not detected as something. Maybe this CD-ROM drive is too new for the controller, but we will try out that later. First I will try to boot it, and after that I will do another backup try of the system disk. So let's try out, and there's no terminator at the end, like before. DIA3? Ah, it's wrong. It's /20000000 because I want to boot the correct from the correct boot folder. This too. And let's try it again. And the cluster is also running in the background, so it should work. This system this system thinks the cluster consists of 5 nodes. There are only 4 nodes at the moment, but the quorum is 3, so therefore it's not a problem. It should boot without any quorum problems. So, another try. 8 August 2025. It's 17 minutes before 5 p.m. so 16:43. And now let's try to find the cluster. But that should work. Yes, I've got serious problems booting OpenVMS. I've tried different things, disable VAX cluster, disable MSCP, enable it, so it won't boot. It's a weird behavior. I cannot really explain. You can see there is error serving device. The MSCP server cannot serve the device, but when I disable the MSCP server, it stops there. But I've added a terminator at the end, and I don't know if there is a problem with the connection, but the machine behaves really weird, and I really don't know why the machine behaves like this. And I've tried out to boot from the CD via this SCSI controller, but this SCSI controller is not able to boot from that CD drive. So I maybe will add now a second SCSI controller to try a backup as a last try to read from that device with that machine. Yes, and now it's booting. It's several hours later, but I've did a lot of try and error, and after a long time it was booting. And what I've done, I will show you now. Here, I've added just a standard SCSI cable from the controller to the hard drive. I have to remove this nose from the connector because the connector on the controller is a bit different, and now it's worked. So that means that not this cable here to this connector is broken. That means that this cable here from the controller inside the chassis to the top part is broken. And this is a good message because this cable is just the ordinary cable with a connector on both ends, and it's easy to repair. This cable is quite hard to repair, so I think this cable works, and that's very good. Then I can use this connector again. And you can see now it's booted. We have a running OpenVMS. And I'm logged in. And it's running, and because I've shut down the alpha systems, I will start the alpha systems now and try if the alpha systems work. And if that is the case, I will show you in the next scene. Otherwise, I will do the backup again with the other backup configuration. Let's go back to the machine. I've added a second SCSI controller here. This is the KSAT QSA SCSI controller with the tape drive. This controller detects the tape drive, but not the CD-ROM drive. And the left behind this cable, you can see this cable here. This is the other SCSI controller I've used in the beginning, the Emulex. And this SCSI controller detects the CD-ROM drive. So I have 2 SCSI controllers inside that system at the moment. I can show you maybe in OpenVMS as well. When I enter Show Devices, maybe we'll see it. I have to use page qualifier. So MKA200 is the tape drive, and DUA4 is the CD-ROM drive. And after I've charted all the cluster, I will do the backup at the end of that video. But I'm very glad that this solution is working. Okay, the solution is a bit ugly at the moment, but it's a working solution. So now I have a working OpenVMS on a VAX. Yes, and also the cluster is working. I've started all the other machines and it's working. You can enter show cluster and we will see it. Here is the cluster. All machines are there, 3 alphas and the machine DBF3. So the cluster problem we saw earlier was also caused by the broken cable. Yeah, let's shut down the VAX and go back to VMB and then starting from the CD and try to back up the system disk again. So the system has shut down. Let's press the hold button and then we are back in VMB and let's enter show devices. See that sergeant. And now we have to boot from the CD, which should be DUA 4. Yes, DUA 4 is the CD drive, and let's boot from DUA 4. And in the meantime, I will put the tape into the tape drive, because the loading will take a while. Time. It's still the 8th of August, but it's a bit later. It's 10 minutes before 9 p.m. Yes, there are the 4 devices. And enter yes. You will see the dollar sign soon. Yes. Let's enter the tape drive. Is really the tape? But I can enter the command backup $1 DIA3 as an image to MKA 200 with the name dbs1bu.bck. Rewind, label for the tape, dbs1bu, and save that parameter. Yeah, the backup starts. We can hear the tape drive working, different to the situation before. So I think the backup will work. But I think there will be a message that the tape has been initialized. Volume 1, blah blah blah. It was not mounted because its label does not match. Okay. I think this is not an empty tape, so we need another option. I have to look up in the manual. I have just to enter the option override. I have to read override. I was asked what I have to do. Yeah. Sometimes it's better reading than look up in the menu and think the command is not correct. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's working now because the tape drive sounds like the tape drive is writing. And yeah, this is the end of that video. I hope you found that video interesting and you can leave comments down below or like the video, and then we'll see you the next time.